Jim, tell people who's behind. Set it up. Get people behind me. Are we good to go? Good to go? All right. Welcome. As you, if y'all aren't aware, we had a commissioners court that started at 9 o'clock. The time is nearly 4:30 p.m., so I'm appreciative for all those that, I don't know if y'all waited the entire time or y'all just showed up, but for most of us, especially our county commissioners, it has been a long and eventful day. And for this particular press conference, we're going to focus in on the NextGen flood warning system that the court took up and has approved. So without further ado, I want to introduce David Smith, our Bexar County manager, Jeff Coyle. I'll ask that you be here and speak of the city of San Antonio, and Jim Campbell, the chairman of the board, on behalf of the San Antonio River Authority. Mr. Smith, you have the floor.
Thank you, Judge. Shortly after the events of Beidle Creek, the judge's office asked for the River Authority to prepare an analysis of what they thought actually happened that morning. That analysis was done fairly quickly. Thank you, Derek, and your team, Jim. When I read it, though, what struck me is how good their modeling of Beidle Creek from a hydrology standpoint appeared to be. So I called a meeting with Derek and said, Derek, can we do that same level of modeling countywide? And he said, not only can we are in the process of doing it and should be done in reasonably short order. So then I asked him the next question. If that modeling can tell us what's going to happen, I'll make up an example, say on Helotes Creek, if it rains 1 inch an hour for 3 hours, or 2 inches an hour for 3 hours, or 3 inches an hour for 3 hours. If that modeling could be done beforehand and be in place, what would you need to essentially develop a predictive set of predictions that we could look to every time there was a rain event? And he said, we'll need to update some of the modeling. We'll need to update some of our sensor technology. To be fully effective, we'll need to update some of our road barriers, automated and otherwise, and we'll need protocols in place where we have to send people to physically close the low water crossing. But Derek already has a meteorologist on call. They are on call anytime we receive a National Weather Service flood watch or warning, and they're watching. So with that modeling having already been done, they could be looking at real-time data from our rain sensors as well as radar, both current and predictive, and see that, again, for example, on Helotes Creek, it's raining 2 inches an hour, and our modeling says that if it continues like that for, I'll make it up, 2 hours, those low water crossings on Scenic Loop will flood. Then, with that information, alerts, signals can be sent out, but more importantly, if necessary, radios can be used to tell the appropriate responding agency, let's say it's Helotes PD, you've got 90 minutes to close those low water crossings before the flooding happens. With those protocols in place, much like Union Pacific does at their railroad crossings, we could essentially take the decision out of the motorist's hands about whether they should even try or attempt to get over that low water crossing. And I believe that has the potential, if we just give Derek the resources he needs, to be a life-saving and game-changing way this community addresses flooding. So with that, I'll turn it over to Jeff Coyle from the city.
Thank you, Dave. Appreciate it. Thank you, David. Thank you, Judge. We appreciate you including us, inviting us here today. I'm Jeff Coyle. I'm one of the assistant city managers for the city of San Antonio. My colleague, John Paterick, oversees our Public Works Department and our stormwater efforts, and so I want to recognize him. And really wanted to mostly recognize and acknowledge the partnership that is happening here today, the regional perspective that the leaders in this room are exhibiting today. The whole reason the Bear Regional Watershed Management Plan and group was created years ago was for this purpose, for the city, the county, the river authority, the suburban cities within Bexar County to be working together on flood control, because, as Derek said in the meeting, the floodwaters really don't care where our political boundaries lie. We were invited to a meeting a couple of weeks ago with the county and river authority where the river authority laid out its vision for this next generation warning system at all the low water crossings across the city and the county. And we agreed 100% that this is the direction we need to go. It will immediately save lives in the next major weather event. And so we took that information and began lobbying our state legislature during the special session to come up with funding to be able to do this immediately. Now, as the county's taken action today to move forward with it to be funded locally, it allows us to move on with the state and ask for other priorities that we have. So this is an example of Bexar County really taking a lead in flood control, as it has always done in the state. We're very grateful. We're happy to be a partner and appreciate you guys doing this. Thank you.
Jim Campbell.
Good afternoon. My name is Jim Campbell. I'm chairman of the board of directors of San Antonio River Authority. First, I want to thank Bexar County and the city of San Antonio for participating in this initiative. In particular, I want to recognize the county and David Smith and the judge for pushing forward with the actual dollars that are going to get this third generation of flood mitigation going. River Authority's mission includes protection and management of the San Antonio River, not just in Bexar County, but in Wilson, Karnes, and Goliad counties as well. But we also coordinate and are in conversation and collaboration with counties to the north, Bandera, Comal, Kendall, and Medina. And it's those dollars that Mr. Coyle was just mentioning that may be able to go and include those four counties in our overall system as well. And it's been mentioned before that we have a Bear Regional Watershed Management Program. Started in 2002. I participated in the creation of that program. And little did we know at that time that years later, the Texas legislature would recognize it as the model for the rest of the state. But we cannot rest on our laurels. We have much more to do to improve on that success. The River Authority will lead the technical aspects of this initiative, using our science and engineering experts to create updated flood maps in collaboration with the Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA. We will monitor and maintain the next generation flood warning system to ensure sensors and radars are working as they should. Updated sensors will more quickly transmit data, informing bearflood.org, and the Waze navigation app and other navigation apps, hopefully in the future, to alert the public of high water. This approach will facilitate better decision making and help ensure communities can plan and prepare more effectively. San Antonio River Authority today stands with Bexar County and the city of San Antonio in committing to bringing the best available early flood warning technology and resources to our communities. Thank you.
Commissioner Calvin.
Thank you. Let me thank you, Judge Sakai, for your political leadership in getting this done, and David and all of our partners here for their involvement in this. This is a very important initiative for unincorporated the county areas, suburban cities, because we don't have lighting in many of those areas. And so this particular package includes solar lighting around where these barriers will be, and that is to be applauded along with the security. We had a situation in northeast Bexar County, rural county, where we were having a high alert arm that was actually stolen, and unfortunately that does happen, that these barricades are moved, but the protections that we're putting in place, I hope will provide a lot of safety to a lot of people. So thank you, Judge, again for the political leadership in moving this forward. Out of the floods of 1998, where we saw the gas station that used to be at Vicar and Perrin-Bidle completely wiped out, many homes were leveled, the county invested between 2007 and 2017 $500 million in flood control programs. Up until the incident along Perrin-Bidle and Bidle Creek, there were 0 losses of life where the county had invested in flood control measures. This is, these barriers are one in a panoply of solutions that we need to be talking about as a community. This is a very important, quick step that we can take, but there's other engineering that has to happen, and here's why. When we look at how this happened, we know that within a 5 square mile radius, there is a catchment basin that received into Bidle Creek on one side of that basin 6 inches within a several hour period and 6.2 inches within another period. And that is part of why the waters move like a tsunami, along with the fact that in this area you have a lot of impervious cover, a lot of development concrete, and not enough retention and drainage. So after this moment, we have to become laser focused on how do we develop drainage projects like the one the county did at the Old Spanish Trail on Fredericksburg Road, which also doubles as soccer fields under the leadership of Commissioner Elizondo. We've got to do that same thing along the Perrin-Bidle corridor in order to protect our folks. That's going to require collaboration and partnership with the city of San Antonio. There are definitely parcels of property that are not in use that could be utilized, where fences were literally washed away, that we need to get into the planning process, I think, of acquiring and looking with our engineers all up and down this particular location, which has plagued us not only in '98, but again in the 2000s and again in 2025. So as the commissioner who represents this area, and I grew up along the Perrin-Bidle corridor, I used to ride my bike in these areas, we still have some measures to do to protect life, but I believe that these particular barriers will be a positive step in the right direction. But one of the things culturally we have to do is, from the business community, we've got to let our employees know that if there are these flash floods and these rains, we don't need to send our employees to work on that time. We need to ask people to stay home and be safe because you will save lives. So thank you, Judge, again, and all the partners who are here today.
Commissioner Moody.
Well, thank you, Judge Sakai, David Smith, our county manager, Sarah, for working on this project, and for all of our city partners as well. This is a huge step forward, and I think that there's, as I laid out in court today, we can focus on flood mitigation when it comes to protecting property. We can focus on, access to roadways with low water crossings, or we can focus on the protection of human life. And I think that everyone will agree that we should prioritize that protection of human life. This is a significant investment, tens of millions of dollars that can go into providing real-time predictive modeling to ensure that we protect human life in a catastrophic flooding incident. Obviously, our thoughts and prayers have been with those who were impacted by the tragic floods on Perrin-Bidle, those in the Hill Country, in Kerrville, along the Guadalupe River. This is a high return on investment for Bexar County tax dollars, and I look forward to working with the city of San Antonio, our surrounding counties, to really invest in this space and then figure out what else we can do. But this is a foundational investment that I think we need to prioritize, that makes sense and will truly protect human life going forward. So thank you.
Thank you. All right, at this time, we have subject matter experts here. Art Reinhardt, our public engineer. I think Derek Bays and your staff is here. Also at the city, I think you may have some subject matter experts. At this time, we'll open up for question and answers, but if there are any specific questions in regards to this particular activity, we do have the subject people that will discuss. First question. Let me have the River Authority. You're all the subject matter experts.
Yeah.
You got the question, Eric?
Yes, sir. So, in short, you have rain gauges and stream gauges that are placed strategically throughout the county. Those feed information electronically through a signal to a central place. That information is collected, and then it eventually will get to our predictive flood model, which can, as we work with our new funding in this effort from the county and the city, to speed up that process as technology has changed, but it allows us to understand faster where the rain, what the rain is doing, and what the downstream impacts are going to be, which allows us to talk to the emergency management community and the first responders to help them get out in the field or make those life-saving decisions.
Judge,
Yes.
how much money is the county putting into this, and how much money is the city of San Antonio putting into this plan?
Well, we'll just respond to this county.
So the direction I received today is for certain to address the funding needs that are for the unincorporated area and our suburban cities, which the River Authority estimates would be 10 million. They estimate the cost for the system within the city of San Antonio to be 11 million. We'll start with the 10. We welcome partnerships, but at the end of the day, I believe my direction from the court is the River Authority will have the 21 million it needs, whether it comes from us, the city, the state, or whoever. They're going to have the money to make sure Bexar County residents and citizens are protected.
Let me have Jeff Coyle from the city of San Antonio.
Sure, and I think David summarized it perfectly. It is not currently in the city's budget beyond the conversation today, so we haven't had those discussions yet, but I think we're all in agreement this needs to happen. As the judge said earlier today, the city's taxpayers are the county's taxpayers. I don't believe that most folks care what the color of the money is. They want us to solve this problem. So we have a long partnership between the city and the county and the River Authority, and we expect that that will continue.
I'm sure.
Can you talk about the implementation going forward from today's decision and what the future looks like?
Implementation.
Could you repeat that?
Just what does the future look like in terms of implementation?
Oh, certainly. Steve Metzler with the San Antonio River Authority. We've got a multi-phase approach. Some of this work has already begun. A lot of the improvements we were going to make to the predictive flood model, we had been budgeting for a couple of months prior to the flood event on June 12th. So we go into this with a great deal of momentum. And there's a few things that we're going to be able to tackle over the next 6 months, and then from 6 to 12 months out, and then overall within 24 months. We'll be able to, the activities that we're taking on right away are bringing up any gauges that are out of service back online, and then we're going to bring in, currently the folks that work for me are finding out some triggering levels of flood elevations, not only when it crosses the road, but also when it is potentially significant downstream impacts. And we're going to find out what those elevations are, put those in so we can get advanced warning to the emergency first responders. Right now, like I said, it's just only stream crossings that we have activated. We're taking that as kind of a pattern after the National Weather Service that has actionable levels at all the stream gauges that they operate. That's actionable, minor flood, major flood, and catastrophic flood. And so we'll be adding that kind of information to all of our stream gauges.
Next question. Oh.
Are in, that we have in Bexar County, and you mentioned some were out of order. How many are out of order right now?
I think there's, oh, go ahead.
Identify.
Art Reinhardt, Public Works Director for Bexar County. So a quick resource is bearflood.org, and if you go there, you'll see approximately 200 gauges and low water crossings across the county region. Roughly about 30 are inactive for various reasons, maintenance, vandalism, as Commissioner mentioned, et cetera.
Next question. Yes.
What were some of the takeaways from the River Authority's assessment of the floods on June 12th, and when will those be made available to the public?
Our assessments were put into a memorandum that's already been sent to the Bexar Regional Watershed Management Team. So that's public record. It was a memo that it sent to the city and the county as well. So you can find those, the conclusions, the assessment, analysis, and conclusions are all in that report.
Next question. No, anybody else? All right, back to you, Brian.
How would this system have prevented those deaths in June? Could it have prevented those deaths in June?
Who wants to take that one on?
take it.
Derek,
I can take.
identify.
Yeah, so Derek Bates, GM of the River Authority. So I just want to say something that I said in front of the court too. You can never eliminate risk. You can work towards mitigation, but you can never fully eliminate the risk. But if such a system had been in place in June, it's possible that the turnaround time for the predictive flood model would have been faster, and there were additional number of gauges with better sensors and additional readings would have fed faster in and potentially allowed first responders to see what was going on and maybe block that road. That is a whole lot of what ifs. But that is what we are striving for with this investment and this partnership, is to get ahead of that curve as much as we can to help prevent future deaths, prevent those future high water rescues, and help keep people out of harm's way.
Let's take one or two more and we'll wrap it up. Anything else?
Before this plan and project is put in place 100%, and to avoid, hopefully never happens again, but to avoid what happened that day, are there any extra measures being put into place by the San Antonio River Authority to mitigate maybe if something like that happens again right now at this moment?
Do we have any other mitigation remedies?
I mean, those things take investment. You're talking about additional mitigation remedies that are in place now. So what we've been talking about is we know that there are more gauges and non-proprietary gauges that are needed. Our software that we use for predictive flood modeling, we put into effect a little over 4 years ago. Technology changes, and it's that time. So we are in the midst of that process. This funding and partnership with Bexar County and the City of San Antonio will allow us to progress faster. I have engineers, whenever there's a National Weather Service alert, that they are watching the weather, they are watching the reports, they are running the model so that they can feed information directly to the emergency operations centers. Those are happening now. So we are doing our best, and the faster we can move, the faster we can keep people safe.
Do you guys have an estimated timeline of when this will be a completed project rather than going through steps?
Roughly, it depends on which phase you're talking about. Our intent is the first 3 to 6 months to get gauges up and running and to improve what the data that they're sending right now. We think with some programming we can get there. Then in 6 to 12 months, get our flood model 3.0 up and running, more gauges out, better gauges out, and then after that, in that 1 to 2 year mark is really get everything fully implemented and fed in, and then manual gates in that first year as well, working towards automated gates over the long term. So within a 2 year period, that is the goal.
We live nowadays by these devices, these little things right now. Is there any way, whatever is found right away, everybody gets this right here?
Antonio, it's a great question, and it's a question I asked out loud. Hey, we have all these warnings, but I believe we kind of have warning fatigue, and a lot of people turn off the warnings. A lot of people disregard it, especially when they're sleeping. So one of the things I suggested, just as a simple matter, how about an old siren? But maybe that works in a rural, smaller area. How's that going to work in San Antonio? So this is just the first step. We're going to have to get a NextGen flooding award warning system into place. Then I'm going to be looking upon our Office of Emergency Management, our Public Works, that are going to have to figure out how do we get this information to individuals? How do we educate the public? We have to have a process from these warnings that this system will give to either individuals, to our first responders, to our partners, the City of San Antonio. How can we get the crews out there? Public Works is ready to go at any moment's notice to put out barricades. We have also what's called, Commissioner Calvert, Commissioner Mooney, the HALT system that the county has also invested in. So this is a multi-dimensional process. This is not just a fix and everything will be fine. No, we have a lot of work to do, but I want to applaud everybody here who has participated today. And we want to show that although we had some big issues to discuss today, we haven't forgotten people who died on June the 12th, especially here in Bexar County. My heart and sympathies go out to the Hill Country and to Kerrville and to Kirk County, but as you can see, the review, so to speak, is why couldn't this warning process be more in real time? And so this is a significant step forward. So at this time, I'm closing the press conference. I'm excusing the group, and if you want to go talk to them some more, they're at your beck and call. Thank y'all very much. Press, I will recess. If there's any further questions for today, pursuant to my process, I will come back out. Give me a break to just catch my breath, all right? Thank you.